Marhaba, welcome. We live in a world that is full of uncertainty. Globalization and technology are disrupting every single industry. Artificial intelligence are disrupting every single job. And climate change are threatening our own existence. We as humans have this crave. We crave for certainty. That's what we crave for when everything is becoming uncertain. How can we embrace uncertainty? In the world we live in today, we must embrace some degree of uncertainty. To show you how, I'm going to share with you 3 stories. To begin with, I would like to introduce you to somebody that I'm sometimes a little bit embarrassed about. My young self to your far right were 2 of my brothers, Omar and Sharif. As a kid, I loved imagining things. I loved imagining being an astronaut, a police officer. I dreamt about going to the space. The moon was my first love. That's when I learned the meaning of love. But the reality that I was living in the U.A.E. was very different to the reality that I imagined. The reality that we were not included. From birth, we were not included. And that's okay, that's their rules, and we have to respect their rules. But we were living in one home, 8 people sleeping in the same room, scared of uncertainty, scared that we might be deported, and all of the other stuff that came with it. It was a scary time for my parents, but I am blessed. I'm blessed for the mother that I have. Do we have any mothers in the room today? Give it up to all the mothers in the room today. My mother raised 11 kids. She gave birth to them, and she raised them. And my father retired, he went back to Iran, and she raised every single one of us. She taught us the art of persistence, perseverance, being calm in the face of uncertainty. That was my foundational journey, the foundations that I had as growing up as a teenage kid. But the way I saw my life, what I had at that moment was one option, which meant there could be a different option. And that option was to leave 200 miles, go away, get a job, build a new life for myself, uplift myself from poverty. And I was hired by a Kiwi person from Auckland, Craig Ross. He hired me to make him coffee every morning. I never drank coffee all my life, never. And just print his papers and sign his papers because I could speak Arabic. So I could just sign, anything that I wanted. But that was the rich dad in my life who gave me a new pathway. He saw something in me. And in life, when you live a life of uncertainty, you open your arms, people welcome you. People include you. And that to me was beautiful. One day, in 2009, I drove to the hospital to pick up my Kiwi dad who's just had an eye surgery. Driving back, we're talking about work, how's the office? Yeah, everything is going good. I've got it under control, don't worry. He said, look, my wife and I have decided to go back home. Would you like to come with us? I thought, whoa, my dream. But since I've been 18, to leave, to find a new home, to be a citizen, to have a flag, to sing the national anthem, to support a national team. I said yes. Little did I know that the leap of faith I took from 200 miles to the 15,000 miles was so different. The energy of shift, of change that I was dealing with was so different and powerful. New country, new way of speaking. People love rugby here, but I grew up watching sports. I didn't understand why you have to pass the ball backwards. We kick it forward. I didn't like rugby until I discovered the New Zealand drinking culture. I loved rugby, yeah. Yeah, bro, yeah. And 6 months later, I got very depressed, missed home, went back, realized, what have I done? Came back again, did this for 6 months, went back, and I thought, okay, that really hit me. I went back forever, I came back in 3 days. And I really started to embrace New Zealand. And I was in Auckland working in the innovation scene, helping businesses transform, grow, deal with uncertainty, help people with change, all that sort of stuff. And I was looking for a subject to study for my master's, and I'm really passionate about uncertainty. How can we create a framework that makes it easier for people to deal with uncertainty? That's when I spent 3 years studying the New Zealand startup ecosystems. And what intrigued that study was the fact that a startup is not an organization that just has a great idea or a great app. It's not a group of people just come together and hang out in t-shirts and play foosball every day. They are actually a human body that deal with uncertainty every single day. They know how to unlock it. And over the last 10 years, this phenomena has grown from the Silicon Valley all around the world. We have seen companies like Facebook, Dropbox become massive enterprises that know how to deal with uncertainty. And my outcome of the study was, how can we replicate this in normal life? How can we replicate this sort of a model in governments, in big organizations? How can we be more entrepreneurial? And that's when I came up with the model called the Entrepreneurial Way, which I'll take you through in a wee while. Entrepreneurship is a very critical skill that we need for the future. The machines will do the predictable work. Humans will do the creative, unpredictable work, which I call entrepreneurship. That's important. To build the skills we need, the entrepreneurial skills, we have to take a big leap of faith to build human capital. But first, we must challenge one mindset. We must not see success based on financial performance. I always laugh when I see these reports, countries right, businesses right, 45 pages, look at us, assets value going up, jobs going up, look at all these financial things. But nobody ever talks about the value of learning. How do we capture the value of learning in hard dollar figures? There's a concept that venture capitalists use, concept the startups use, is called innovation accounting. Now, please do not confuse innovation accounting with innovative accounting. Innovative accounting is how you end up in prison. Okay? So, innovation accounting is basically studying your learning, your experimentation, the leading indicators that you can sort of turn into potential net value cash flow in the future. You can see that. I'd love to live in a world where we publish a report every year and say, look, we have done this many experiments, we have learned this many things, the potential value we can create in the next 10 years is this many dollars. I think that's beautiful because that just shifts our mindset to not be afraid with experimentation, to play with it, to learn with it. That's really important. This year, my wife, Elle, she's in the audience, and I embarked on our journey, entrepreneurial journey, to start building learning communities. We're using the business model of a shared working space, innovation hub, startup incubator. We want to build such communities in regional New Zealand because we believe the future of New Zealand is regional. And we want to build interconnected communities all around regional New Zealand so we can create accessibility of knowledge and learning and share it and build startups, build a digital economy, anything we want to do, build more on the space economy we have here, which is starting now. I want to show you quickly what the entrepreneurial way is in a very simple 4 steps. It starts with imagination. We must have a vision. Entrepreneurs are really good with being driven by a vision. I was 17, I had one simple vision. Leave the country, become a citizenship of another country. There was nothing underneath it. I didn't write a 200-page book. I didn't do a study. It was just a vision, okay? And then I did a lot of experimentation. There's two types of experimentations we can do: a value hypothesis, a growth hypothesis. Will someone buy this? Yes. Can I expand it to more people? We experiment with this. And then we learn. I want to emphasize that learning should be validated, which means it's actionable, it's achievable, it's accessible. That's learning. In other words, it's productive failure. We know what to do with it. We can grow with it. We can take it to the next level. And in the end, we either pivot, we persevere, we stop. That's the entrepreneurial way. A lot of government are using this today to build new economies, such as Dubai, Finland, America. We're seeing a little bit of it starting to happen in New Zealand. We should do more in this space, and I think this is so important for us as a humanity to move forward, to embrace uncertainty, unlock opportunities within those uncertainties that we face. But I don't want to sugarcoat this. This is not as simple as it sounds. When we talk about change of this magnitude, change our operating base, operate totally differently, reorganize ourselves differently, we're talking a type of energy that is similar to breaking atom. If we don't break it carefully, it's going to be a massive big bang, and that's not good for us, not good for economy, for all sorts of different things. So the entrepreneurial way really helps us to break it down in a rigorous way and manage it and grow it, and also keep up with the economy of speed, to keep up with how fast the world is going. So, before you leave this room, I want to challenge your certainty mindset. Certainty is the opposite of certainty, I should say, is not uncertainty. It's learning. It's willingness to grow. It's willingness to be interconnected. It's the willingness to be open. As long as we do that, the entrepreneurial way can really help us build humanity's golden age in the century ahead. Thank you.